curriculum are we using for first grade math? What manipulatives, resources, activities, and different games are we going to be using to teach math to our first grader, our 6-year-old girl? I'm Jordan Ashley, and I am a homeschooling mom of 2, almost 3 kiddos, and I am so excited to just get to be a part of this community and to share what we'll be doing. But we share tips, tricks, resources on how we learn, grow, and explore at home, at Disney World, and the world beyond, because learning can happen anywhere, and it is so much fun to be a part of this journey with our kiddos. So if you would like to get more tips, resources, and inspiration for your homeschooling journey, be sure you're subscribed. And if you would like to be part of our awesome community, then check it out here. This year we did decide to switch from the Good and the Beautiful to Horizons Math for our main spine, our main portion of our curriculum. And if you'd like to see why we decided to make the switch from the Good and the Beautiful, you can check out this video, or I'll link it down in the description below to watch after this. But we are doing Horizons Math, so I'll do a full flip through and a little bit more information about why we chose this one a little bit later in a different video, because that will take some time in and of itself. But there are 2 books, and you're basically going to start off repeating some of the things so you get some repetition for you, what you learned previously. So you have your 10s, your 1s, you make sure you have your number recognition, you use number lines when you're doing addition, you move on, you learn some money and things like that. You know, typical first grade stuff. I will go ahead and show you a little bit inside, just so that you can get a quick sneak peek, and then we will follow up with the rest of the Horizons in a different video. Okay, so like I said, there is some colorful pictures. Each lesson is just like usually 1 page front and back, and they have like number lines at the beginning. You have a couple like really short tests in there just to get an idea of what they have learned. We did already start it. We started a little bit already, and it's going pretty well. I would say that it is pretty colorful, so they enjoy it. And it's not so colorful that it's distracting. So by the end, let's just see, by the end we are doing 3-digit subtraction, missing numbers. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this. I think that it'll be a great curriculum for her, and it'll be pretty straightforward and easy for me to teach. Now I'm going to link everything that I can find in the description box below or in my storefront if you would like to check it out, just to make it all in one place and easier for you. Feel no pressure to use those links. It's just there if you need it. Another thing we do a lot in our homeschool is game school. So we do a ton of games in our homeschool and in life in general. What age can you, I can't think of any age that doesn't love playing games, whether they are kids, grown-ups, adults. I mean, that's why a lot of the boxes say like 3 to 99 or 3 to 100, you know? I mean, I'm sure people who are 101, shout out if you know someone like that, love playing games. So I would love to hear what your games are, your favorite math games. But math games, I feel like you don't even have to get a specific math game in order to make it math. So whether your little one likes playing Pokemon and then has to do the mental math to do like 100 minus 80 and things like that, just to start off, that is math. There are probabilities in math or in games. There's statistics and things like that, and different strategies that you can implement for a variety of different ages. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen a typical board game, like one of your popular board games, teach like calculus, but I mean, I might be wrong. Show me if I am. But here are some games that are specific to math that we'll be using this year. One of the first games is Proof. So this is a game where you are doing mental math and you have to show how you got to that mental math and the proof behind it. And then if you can do that, then you get to keep the cards, and whoever has the most cards wins. And so that just brings some fun into the learning experience, and it gets us off of just doing bookwork every single day. And you know, I would get bored doing bookwork. I do get bored doing bookwork, even just watching, because she self-facilitates her math most of the time. She doesn't necessarily need help learning the concepts yet. So yeah. Another game that we play is called Making Change. Now I keep most of our games in these little skinny boxes so that I can fit them inside our Calyx shelves. And so Making Change is just as the name would describe. So we are practicing money, and we don't do a ton in our everyday life with like paper money and coins anymore. So I do think it's still a skill that she needs to be able to understand. Plus, being able to learn about money and is just a life skill, you know? So it's super simple, easy instructions, and we like playing that one together as a family. Even my littlest daughter kind of contributes, and the money does end up in our pretend play. So for example, we have lots of different pretend money decks and things like that that we use for like playing store and shop. And so we use pretend for our learning all the time, whether we are learning like social emotional skills, or we are learning about like different cultures. We are learning about like how you perform different jobs and responsibility, and we learn about reading and writing and spelling, and we learn everything in pretend play. And I don't think that's going to stop till hopefully never. They don't want to grow up. I don't want them to grow up, but hopefully they will continue to do that for years and years to come. Now, another thing we do a lot is we go to Disney World a lot. And so we are in lines a lot. Now, that might not directly relate to you. You might not be in Mickey's backyard and go to Disney and wait in lines, but you probably have some waiting in your life, whether they are waiting for food at the dinner table, or you are in line at the grocery store, whatever the case may be. We use these a lot, and that is a simple, trusty flashcard, you know? And we get our flashcards done while we are waiting, and we get a lot done that way, and it saves us a lot of time. We do that for literature too. We have a lot of flashcards and a lot of like fun activity flashcards, like ones with fun facts that my daughter really loves. So we do those as well. But math ones are super simple, super quick, and that way she just gets that like repetition, and she does it in a fun way, and then she gets a fun ride at the end. So that's really fun. And the thing about these is these are just the basic ones. Most of the other ones that we use are already in our like go bags that we take with us everywhere. Let me know if you want a video on that. But we have lots of different ones that have different themes and different like tweaks in there to make it more fun. And that brings us to real world application. So, and things that we do while we're in the real world. But before we dive into that, if this video has been helpful to you, give it a like. It is super helpful for me and the algorithm, and it's just like, you know, an easy free way to support my channel. So please like this video. Now, we go to Disney World a lot, like I said, and we go to parks, we travel, we are in the car a lot, because there's something about where we live, where we are in like a triangle. All our community and all our different events are kind of like a little spaced out. So we're in the car a good bit during the day, most days, because we have a lot of social interactions. I know homeschoolers do social things. Thankfully, you're all mostly homeschoolers, so you probably understand. But of course we do. Now, in all of those experiences, we get a lot of real world schooling done. So if we are at Disney World, we will graph, or we will like make tally marks, because we are in that first grade era, right? We are doing tally marks of how many Mickey ears we see, how many matching outfits, and so on and so forth. And then she will make a graph or a chart of some kind, and we will work on those while we're at Disney World. So that's just one example. We also can talk about like physics and pretty advanced topics as well, and she's kind of like touched on those already, which is really cool to see. But we will also do like math at the grocery store, or we will do how many times it takes to go from here to there. So we will work on time, we will work on probabilities. So we will look, when we're driving, we'll see how many different, she'll make like another graph or a representation of like how many different license plates she sees of each state while we're driving from this place to this place. And then the next time we are driving that same route, she will make like a general probability, she's still working on it, but a probability of seeing this state license plate versus this one, etc. So we love learning in the real world because it gives her a reason to love math. Speaking of a reason to learn math, we do have, what's the point of math? math, so we really like having reference books or just books that have beautiful pictures with lots of like fun things and little like tidbits of learning inside that kind of leads us down some like rabbit holes and rabbit trails. So we learn those in as well. We also do a ton of unit studies. And so we always incorporate math into our unit studies. So if we do a unit study on Moana, we're gonna be doing some math with it somehow, some way. Don't worry, I can figure it out. Drop your favorite Disney movie down below or your favorite Disney character, and I guarantee you I can find a way to make it about math or about science, literature, art, all of the above. Love making unit studies, Disney ones in particular, just because that's where we live, that's where we are. And honestly, as a former Disney cast member, that's what I know. Of course, we will also be doing a lot of like fractions and things like that when we are cooking, because we do a ton of baking together. And then we also are going to be doing Financial Peace University this year for like littles, for kids, Financial Peace Kids. And so that's something that is like math adjacent, because she's not doing a ton of actual math, but she is understanding the concepts of like how money works, I guess, essentially. So we will be using it for that purpose. So it's kind of in that math category. But let me show you a couple more books before we move on to Manipulatives, which has been super helpful in our home as well, because math is so much easier when you can see it, right? It doesn't all have to be up here. It's easier when you can see it. So I'm going to show you the Manipulatives, but here are some other things that we do just every once in a while, and those are our time tests, just because I'm curious, and sometimes she likes a challenge, so she will try to beat her time. And then when we are just like bored during the day, she will come take like one of these dot to dots, and it counts all the way to 500. So that just like helps her with her counting. I mean, she's beyond counting at this point, but it does give her a little bit of extra practice with it. And the more repetition, the more, or the simpler it's going to become when she is doing her math problems. Okay, so currently this is our math section here in our homeschool room. So I have 1, 2 primary shelves for math. So this is Manipulatives, and let's check it out. Okay, so I have a ton of Manipulatives, and we definitely do not use them every single day. This is also where I store some of our flashcards. So we have like all of the different ways to read time, different clocks, things like that. So we have flashcards for time. This is something we haven't used or opened yet, but when we are doing fractions in the kitchen, I plan on utilizing this resource. So it's just a little flip book that I got from like the Target dollar spot or whatever that spot's called, that we use for fractions. We have money flashcards that we use from time to time. We have a number line. Now this is something I primarily use for just my littlest daughter at this point. We've kind of moved beyond that. We have a scale for weights and measurements. We have a few different clocks. Now I did just get a lot of this either from Amazon or from a teacher that was retiring, and she just sold like a huge packet of Manipulatives. So we have more than we need, but we have dominoes. So when we play dominoes or when we are utilizing these for various different learning games that we create / find online. And then we also have a ton of different learning games that we do with just this big bag of dice. Okay, so we have our like lots of different squares, like tangrams as well. And we have this big bag. Now I moved everything to bags because I just thought it was going to be so much easier to store. I do plan on moving them to these type of zipper bags because those are just better. They're better. And then we have these, which are fractions. So we have like the whole versus, and then she will get the next size. So she'll get a half, and then she'll find the other half and see the actual visual representation of what that looks like. So that's another way for us to teach fractions. They do, my daughter is again beyond these, the first grader. However, our kindergartner still uses our little erasable, these like magic copywork books. So she likes those. And then we have fractions in circle form. So we have like 1/4. And so we'll look at it in like a pie graph or a circle form of a fraction, just for another way to do it. We have some more money. And I actually got like a full free curriculum. Well, it's not a curriculum, a full free resource guide with like a children's book on how to explain the US money and like mint system to little kids. So that's really cool. Now we also have more little coins because they always seem to disappear. So we haven't opened this set yet, but I'm sure we'll need it at some point because they just disappear from time to time. We have the little counting bears, which is always fun, and we use those for a lot of activities when it comes to like STEM challenges and things, not just for math. And then we have these, which are really fun. So she gets to just have another visual representation, just depending on the day, depends on which one we plan on using. Sometimes she will choose. And then our most space consuming would be these counting blocks. Now, these little cubes. Now they use these for pretend play. Like, I don't know what kid doesn't love a good block, but they connect them and create their own little worlds with these, as well as just for math. So we will throw in math when they are doing their builds. But we use these for a lot of different purposes, whether it's looking at multiplication or subtraction, addition, etc. And I would highly recommend a set of those, at least one. And we have a few more things that I must have already packed away in one of our go bags because we did just take a long family trip. And so I will take some manipulatives with us, so I'm missing some of those. But that is the majority. That is most of our math stuff for this year. I'm sure I will add some things in, and I'm sure I'll drop some other things off. We might not do each and every one of these things, and that's just how it goes as a homeschool family. Always be flexible, always be willing to change. So speaking of change, we're about to change videos, so be sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, and comment down below what your kiddos love doing for math, because I would love to learn from you and share with this community what works so that we can all learn from each other and grow together.